Jai Shri Ram. Gita Insights Track 2. Maharshi Jayadayal Goyandka Gita Press. We are starting with this discussion on what exactly is Tyaga, and Jayadayal ji says Tyaga or renunciation is divided into 7 stages. The first stage is total renunciation of prohibited acts, avoiding, totally abstaining from things prohibited by the scriptures, such as thieving, adultery, lying, duplicity, chicanery, cheating, duplicity, double dealing, coercion, duress, force, violence, taking forbidden food, indulging in frivolities, loose talk, prajalpa, Prajalpa. Prajalpa is a Sanskrit word which means, idle chatter, talking nonsense, empty vessels, making a lot of noise. Flibberty gibbet. It's a nice English word. Flibberty. Flibberty gibbet means an airhead. That means a person whose head is full of air. He is a gas bag. He or she will be continuously chattering nonsense. So they suffer from what is called verbal diarrhea. Verbal diarrhea. In English, the word is logoria. Logohhrea. Logoria means verbal diarrhea. Continuous non-stop talking about things that don't make any sense in the first place. See, our conversations will determine our destiny. Our conversations will actually impact everything in our life, because our conversation is an indication of how the mind is running and how the mind will run in future, right? So if your conversation is about Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, these spiritual topics, then you will be uplifted. You will be able to contribute to other spiritual growth also. Otherwise, you are wasting time. So, Jayadayalji is saying Tyaga or renunciation, stage 1, we just discussed that. Anyway, I added my own explanations there. Second stage is renunciation of actions motivated by desire. Yeah? Right. So, there should be no selfish desire. So, desire, this is of course slightly difficult to understand. Remember one thing, we all came empty handed, but we won't go empty handed. Or rather, we didn't come empty handed. Am I confusing you? Generally we say we come empty handed, we go empty handed. That is from one perspective. We don't come with any physical object, we won't leave with any physical object in our hand. Your car, your washing machine, your laptop will not go along with you. So that is right. But suppose I say we don't come empty handed, we don't go empty handed. That means we come with a lot of stuff and we leave with a lot of stuff. Now we are not talking about anything material here. I am talking about samskaras. Samskara means impressions of the past. Samskara is a word with many meanings. Samskara is also an initiation rite or a rite, ritual, purificatory ritual. Samskaras in Hinduism are 16. In the Vedas there are 40. But by the time Dharma Shastras were composed, they reduced it to 16. Now we are not following all the 16 also, right? Okay. So samskaras are purificatory rituals. Samskarincha badinadi. Samskar means purifying, polishing. So a gem, a diamond gets value only when it is polished and it is given those cuts, bezels, B-E-Z-E-L. Bezel means the side of a diamond. So more the bezels of a diamond, more the value. So samskaras in Hinduism are basically extremely scientific and also deeply philosophical and spiritual. So these are rites. And samskar, other meaning I already told you. Impressions from the past. Janmantara sahasreshu. All of us, our minds, are the product of Janmantara sahasreshu. Over millions of births, 84 lakh births. After 84 lakh births in different yonis, yoni means a womb, yoni means a matrix. Yoni is a word again which has many meanings depending on the context in which you are using it. So, after 84 lakh wombs, you get the opportunity to be born as a human being. And therefore, this is the exit point. Even devatas have to be born as humans to achieve moksha. So this is the philosophy in the Vedas. Now whether you take it or not, accept it or not is a different thing. And anyway, in this small audio I cannot give complete description. You have to do a lot of homework and research yourself too. Now, so the point here is, after 84 lakh births, if you are getting the human birth, you should not waste this. You should get out of this never-ending prison, which is the cycle of birth and death. Moksha means total freedom. You're dancing with Krishna in Goloka Vrindavana. Sahasrare Mahapadme Krishnena Sahamodate. Sahasrare Mahapadme Krishnena Sahamodate. That means you are going to enjoy, dance along with Krishna. Now this means you are freed from this cycle of birth and death. And if you can take birth and come back to help others. So there are so many siddhis we can achieve. Anyway, study of Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita will give you deeper insights into this, whatever I just said. So, selfish desire is bad. Remember, because selfish desire is futile. We may work very, very hard thinking that all the money that we earn, we can't enjoy, isn't it? Somebody else enjoys. We can eat only a little. How much can you eat? Even if you have 10 billion tons of grain, how much will you eat in a lifetime? No, no. Same thing. So, selfish desire is futile. The desire to acquire wealth with the intention of making some useful contribution. That's wonderful. Artha. Artha kama, dharmartha kama moksha. Next, third thing, Dayalji is saying, complete renunciation of thirst for worldly objects. Right? Worldly objects. Be careful about that. Some people never know how much is enough. Some philosopher defined it as, poor people are those who do not know how much is enough. Who is poor really? One who does not know how much is enough is poor. So, we need to be careful. Otherwise, we end up becoming acquisitive. One car is not sufficient. You need half a dozen cars. Why? And that too, you need a car to go from one place to another place. Now, people will invest crores. That is snobbery. Snob value. So, don't become a snob. I have decided long ago that I am an anti-snob. That means there is no such word in the dictionary anyway. Anti-snob snob means a person who is concerned about status, and he will buy things which the rich will buy, and he will show off to the others and look down on the others. He will imitate the fashion set by the rich and look down on the others. That's the definition of a snob. I am an anti-snob, which means I buy the cheapest things and I show off. And let me tell you, if you buy a shirt, pant, buy some khadi or local, so you will be helping some Hindu, or maybe Muslim also, some Indian at least. Okay, so think like that. Next, fourth one, renunciation of the practice of taking service from others with a selfish motive. Now, Kritagneya nasti nishkriti. In Ramayana, Lakshmana says, ingratitude is the worst of sins for which there is no atonement or expiation. అంటే కృతజ్ఞత లేకుండా ఉండుట అన్నది అంతకంటే మహాపాతకం ఇంకోటి ఉండదు. So remember, we must try to give back. The very fact that we are still alive is proof that we are indebted to millions of people. The farmer who fed us, the milkman who is bringing the milk, the cow that ate the grass and produced the milk, and you are happily having milk, curd and everything, the clothes you are wearing, we are indebted. So our duty, that is why in Sanatana Dharma we have to do Pancha Mahayajnas. What are these Pancha Mahayajnas? Everyone has to do it. Every Hindu has to do it. One is Brahma Yajna. Brahma Yajna or Rishi Yajna. Same thing is called Rishi Yajna, which means study of the scriptures. See, all these Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, Bharatam, all these things are there for us to develop ourselves. So much effort has gone into it. Our forefathers have done so much work. So we must learn. So if you can study and acquire that knowledge, they wrote these books, they composed these epics so that we can develop. So once we study, we have in a way fulfilled their wish, and that is a debt. If you don't study the Bhagavad Gita, your debt remains unpaid. So that is Brahma Yajna or Rishi Yajna. Next is Deva Yajna. So conducting Homam. When we do Homam, all the substances that are put into the Agni actually release smoke which does not pollute, actually which depollutes. So Agnihotra is a very scientific activity. Fritz Stahl, an American, Fritstal, Fritz Stahl, is one American who came to India, spent a lot of money doing the yajnas in Kerala, and at the end of the yajna, it rained heavily. So, Atiratra yajna it is called. So anyway, some fools say mantraliki chintakal raltaya, chintakal gadra. All kinds of things can happen, okay? So people don't understand. See, sound is an energy. When you intensify sound, we all know glasses will break. Have you heard of a device called a cymoscope? Cymacop, cymoscope. Cymatics, cymatics. Cymatics basically is a study of the forms created by the vibration induced by sound. Suppose there is a cymoscope is a device invented by some Swiss person who is not a scientist. So if you say Om into the cymoscope, it will create the Sri Yantram. The Sri Yantram. So many triangles, right? So if you say your name into it, it will create a particular geometric design. So there is a corresponding geometric design for every sound. Just imagine. Our rishis designed the Sri Yantram. They didn't have a cymoscope, but they intuited it. When you say Om, the corresponding geometric design for Om is Sri Yantram. So, these are all very interesting things which we need to learn. So, that is Deva Yajna. So, we got to pay back to all those powers that be. Krishna is running a whole bureaucracy, remember. Krishna won't run the whole thing. If you were God, what would you do? You will hire a lot of people to do all the work so that you can lie on the Seshnag somewhere. So, never take anything free from anybody. Always pay back. So that is the fourth one. The next, fifth one according to Jayadayalji is absolute renunciation of sloth, laziness and desire for fruit in respect of all one's duties. So, not being selfish and not bothering about the result. Doing your work in a spirit of service as an agent of Krishna. Sixth one, total renunciation of the sense of mine, ownership and attachment with regard to all worldly objects and activities. And then the seventh one, complete renunciation of even the latent desire and self-identification with regard to the world, one's body and all actions. Now, this is a very deep spiritual philosophy. Remember, we are here to do some useful work and get out of this prison of never-ending birth and death. So, we are not going to take anything physical away from here. So, if you can remember that, there will be no attachment. Life will throw many things at you. So, this is the seventh one. Renunciation of the latent, hidden desire and self-identification with regard to world, one's body, one's kulam, one's gotram, and all these things. So, that is, these seven constitute what is called renunciation as per Jayadayal Goyandka ji. Jai Shri Ram. We'll stop here. That's a pretty long one. Jai Shri Ram.